if you had this 50K that you knew that was coming via commission check, how would you deploy it and how would you use it?
Welcome to the Contrarian Capitalist Podcast, the ultimate destination for accredited investors and entrepreneurs seeking alternative wealth building strategies. Discover how to fast track your journey to wealth and time freedom by thinking outside the box. If you're ready to join the ranks of the Contrarian Capitalists and learn the most effective ways to reach your financial goals faster, you're in the right place. Let's get started with today's episode of the Contrarian Capitalist Podcast.
Thank you once again for joining another episode of the Contrarian Capitalist Podcast. I'm your host and your favorite silverback, Sylvania Harrod. And on today's episode, I want to get a little bit tactical for you because I had a guest who had reached out to me and they asked me this simple question. They said, hey, I have 50K. And if you had this 50K that you knew that was coming via commission check, how would you deploy it and how would you use it? And so I'm going to use numbers that are simple for math, but you can take this exact plan. And my objective is that, like, if you only listen to this episode only, you can take this information, be able to use it tomorrow and help you start building your Freedom Unlocked war chest, AKA the FU button. So this gentleman I've been good friends with over a period of time. And from time to time, what you'll realize, especially if you're listening to this as my fellow contrarians, is that this podcast is not just a one-way communication method. It's a two-way street. I like to reach out. I like to ask questions. I like to do discovery of ways that I can be able to better serve you, because I don't have a desire to be sitting there staring at a computer talking to myself for no reason. There's other things I can do, right? But I'm a person who's designed for service. So one of the things I want to give you access to is some of the information of what I would do throughout that methodology. And you can take it, you can use it, deploy it. So please, that's why I ask for you to comment. I ask you to DM. I ask you to go ahead and find me on LinkedIn and send me a message. Like, that's due to the fact that I'm here to serve. And the more feedback I receive, the better I can serve you. I can give you different information. So in this example, for this guest, I'm here to give it to them. So one of the key things I learned from the individuals I get to interact with on a daily basis is they all have a blueprint. There is a blueprint, whether we recognize it or not, we all have blueprints of how we do things in life. Example being that you ever have a friend who, like, when they're sober, they're like, I can't dance, but all of a sudden they have a drink of alcohol and man, that dance machine comes out, willy-nilly be able to do it. It's due to the fact that the way our brain is wired is that we have neurons, and there's a gap called the synapse. And so what happens is that neurons that fire together are wired together. So for that individual, if they only learned how to dance while they were inebriated, they're telling the truth. Like, it's extremely hard to repeat an action unless you had a very similar stimulus during that action. It's the same reason why in the military, we train like we fight. Because what you're looking to do is you're looking to move from a conscious level to a subconscious level to an unconscious level. That's where you hear things like the 10,000 hour rule is due to the fact that it's the repetition of the environment can help you so that when you're in that environment, you don't have to think twice. It's instinctual. But the reality is that instincts is nothing but trained behaviors executed over a period of time. So that's why I love hearing so remember, the neurons that fire together are wired together. That is what blueprints are. So let me share with you a little bit about my blueprint. On my blueprint, I break it down in percentages. I like to take like 5%. So if I know, let's just use a number, $100 is coming in. I know that I'm going to take 5% and 5% is going to charitable causes. Have to, no questions asked. Another 5% is going to go to something I like to consider like experiences. So consider it a vacation, buying everything in the restaurant type of event, buying the widget. So I was talking to my best friend, Dylan, and he was sharing, he's like, no, you got to go buy the thing, buy the watch, buy the thing you've been drooling over, because every time you see it, you hold it, you touch it, you're going to be like, yeah, that's what happened in this moment. So you have to celebrate it because you want to wire in your brain that like this is a celebration fund, because as we know in life, ain't nothing as easy as it seems. It all takes work. It's everything you want is on the other side of work. So take this blueprint. So 5% is going to go to your FU fund. Do whatever you want with it. Book the vacation, stay at the hotel, get the extra services, tip heavily, go out to one restaurant and just write a $5,000 tip if you want to. It's up to you. So we're gonna use that as the element that we need to make it happen, right? 5% goes there. I take 25%, and I just put it in raw cash, right? Right around, like I may keep it in cash because of who I am as an individual, right? So like I like it in raw cash. So that puts us right up to 35%. I'm going to take another 20% and I'm going to put it in the market. So I put it in the market and I let it do what it does. I'm a big indexes fan. So like just put it in an index, set it, forget it, not even questions asked. And then I'm going to take roughly 45% and I'm going to put it into a hard asset. I want a majority of it going into a hard asset. The reason being is that like I like the capabilities of knowing that my money is working for me. I know it's stupid to have 25% just sitting in straight cash, but that's how I execute. I call that my wife's money because I look at it and say, hey, it's there. My wife is not a risk taker like I am, which is the exact reason why most of the stability I have in my life is catered to my wife, because she likes to play it safe. If not, I will send it to the moon because I like risk, but it's calculated risk. I had to learn and grow from the point of just straight risk that makes no sense. That's gambling, folks. So I like to make sure that there's a percentage that is structured that she can see from the money that comes in. This is where that money is, right? And she's also going to look at a space where it's like, okay, now we have kind of like some today activities that can occur. Right now, the S&P has been down 7.5% for the last 30 days. That's fine. That just means stuff is cheaper. So I can buy more of it. So I'm going to park it there. Then what I'm going to do is I know 45% needs to go towards an asset. So Ray Dalio talks about in his book, like the holy grail of investing is having 8 to 10 non-correlated investments that you have money invested in. So it means is that like diversification is key, but diversify in things you know. So the thing that I know very well is private lending. So I know myself and I know I don't want to be in operations because I want to focus on my primary business. I want to focus on those things so I have the capabilities of making sure I show up and do what I do. I do not want to have a PhD in oil and gas. I do not want to have a PhD in multifamily construction, commercial real estate construction. I don't have a PhD in any of those things. What I want to have is like a solid bachelor's degree, possibly a master's degree, if I really want to dig deep on it. But what I do is I align myself with people who have the PhDs, because if they have a PhD, but they can explain it to me like I'm an undergrad, man, that's a powerful person. Like, that's what I'm constantly looking for, is that, okay, you do these kind of projects. Cool. I don't care if you're great at projects, but you're awful at being a human. I don't want no part of that, bro, because I like to know that I am empowering other individuals, which is why I like to park my money into funds. So a fund main responsibility, as you've heard me share in previous episode, syndication means I have a pile of money that is going into one asset. Fund means I have one pool of money going into a diversified subset of assets. So I can go and I can look and be like, hey, at the current, that's the reason why I like indexes, right? It's diversification. So if a whole industry is crashing and burning, well, then we in this bitch together, right? We gonna be there. We're gonna do what it does. But if I have this industry, but this industry, I balance over time. That's how I operate as a human, is balance, So that is why when I look at that concept, that's why I park my money into funds. And a fund's sole purpose is to help lend to other projects. Now, it could be to buy the projects. It could be other things. I structure mine towards lending for the most part. Or if I'm doing it into a business, I don't buy, like, while I get it that distressed assets, you can send it to the moon. I like to work in industries that I know, that I enjoy, because here's the reality that most people won't tell you. Any business you're a part of takes work. Passive is a myth. If I'm going to own it and I'm going to buy it, it's going to take some type of activity, whether it's investigation, whether it's understanding anything there, because you still want to be able to drive the car from time to time. That is the thing that, as far as me and my personality, because I understand myself. And I go, okay, if it's a business I'm going to, I want a business that's already trending in the right direction. It may cost me a little bit more, but I know that I'm going to get my return. I'm going to get my dividend checks because I look at the operators, I clarify them, I understand them, right? So as I understand them and as I'm able to really make stuff happen, right? I want to ensure that all that glitter is gold. That's what I love. That's what I care about, right? So with that being stated, you got to understand that that's why I really love those, because it diversifies. My money's parked and it's working for me constantly. So for me in business, when I look at things, I'm like, businesses are valued based upon their business systems, which is the precursor to business profitability and revenue, which is after the fact. So the variable in the equation is I can create a better system, man. Things are cupcakes and rainbows, plus little unicorn kisses. That's what I look for. So if I'm parking money, I'm going to buy rights to revenue. So I'll give you a real world example. I love exotic cars, but I'm really not good at the maintenance piece, So, and I also, to me, there's only so many cars I can drive because I work from home. So if I'm driving or going to places, it's things that I'm shuttling kids around and there, but I want to have a date night car. So I have an option. I can go buy a fleet of exotic cars that I'm going to pay somebody to maintain. I'm going to pay somebody to monitor and match and wax it and all those things. Or I can do as the wealthy do. And I can take that money I was going to park on these group of assets and put it into a luxury car rental company. Because now, especially one that's growing, that's in growth and that's been around for a period of time, because as my good old friend Dylan says, I don't drink with anybody who doesn't have scars. So they're going to know, they're going to see man, look at the tens and how things were growing and money was falling from the sky. In the last couple of years, things got tied up. So we need to ensure that we're good to go. They're going to understand the variance and experience and perspective that they can gain from getting kicked in the teeth a few times. So I can park money into there as a profit share partner. And I'm going to use my natural skills to make sure I grow and scale them because I'm scaling my own money. So if I'm going to use an hour per week of my time to help with things, it's only going to make more money, which everybody wins then. And the coolest part is, in a moment's notice, I can pick up the phone. Hey, going on a date this day. What cars are in the stable? Okay, block this one off. Come pick it up. Take my car. They can come to the house, drop it off. My car is outside. Take this car. It'll go in. They can do all the maintenance. They can detail it. They can make it all handy dandy. And then I'll take the car, create a little content with it so I can show what's going on. So it's not and the reality is people know I'm just gonna be truthful. If I'm flexing, I'm like, yeah, this is what my company does. It ain't mine. But the reality is that that money I put towards it is growing because I'm in a hard asset, right? That's the jammy jam. That's what you want to be doing. That's where you want to make inroads, is that you let your hobbies, you take your money. Because of my investment theory, I need to park it in assets. So I'm going to take that money, park it in assets. Those assets are things that need to be making money or finding ways to grow money, because I realize there's more leverage in business than there typically is in real estate. That's why you hear me say business, wealth creation, assets, wealth, like real estate, wealth preservation. That just keeps things sustaining over time, but you get to do what you love. So to land a plane, I'm going to help you understand. If you have 50K, you have to first develop a process. I think that you should give back to some charitable causes, because Harvard Business Review even did a study where they showed you that there's a direct correlation to how much you donate to how much your wealth grows. I think that's just a law of the universe. The more people and more benevolence you give, the more you're rewarded, because you're giving back. You're not just hoarding it. So have a percentage for service. Have a percentage for fun and excitement. You're definitely going to want that. I didn't believe it at first. I did that, So that's part 2. Part 3, have a percentage for how much you need to keep so that when you look at the account, you feel comfortable at night, and then you're going to have a percentage you want to put in the market, because I do believe that you want to have it in the market. It's another mechanism. This is financial planners I'm not against. I'm just about hedging the bets of what I need to do. And then I have a percentage that goes into acquiring real assets via private lending. I'm going to lend to other businesses to help them grow or acquire particular assets. And in exchange for that, in some situations, I gain equity. In a lot of situations, I get a pretty much committed return to my money. So For that $50,000 scenario, we're going to look at it as he takes $2,500, finds a charity he cares about, donate to it, go on Charity Water. Do you want a really great experience? Go on Charity Water. Look for kids that have projects. Take that money and just pour it through, right? Pour it through on kids that are close to the edge. You can probably fund roughly like 20 projects with $2,500. The amount of letters you receive from kids that found out that a stranger cares for them, you have no idea how that makes you feel. It's marvelous. Or kids that are like, hey, I want to go on a mission trip and I'm looking to make this happen. It shows them that humanity. There's one person out there, and Tony Robbins talks about this. There was one guy on Thanksgiving that showed up and supported, and at that moment, he made it his mission in life to realize that somebody out there knows that somebody else cares. Take $2,500 and take it and just dump it on an experience. Go buy that pair of Jordans you've been looking at, bro. Like, buy that thing. Do it for you. Do it for you. Take the trip. Stay in the penthouse. Rent the car. Trust me, you'll never forget that experience, because all we are is just a compilation of our experiences in life, right? So do that. Then, if you want to look at it from there, then you're going to take a percentage, like the 25%, roughly, like doing the math. Let's just say it's 20 grand. Put 20 grand in the bank. Just leave it. So it's 20 grand in the bank, or actually we're 20%. So take 10 grand, put it in the bank. Take roughly another 10 grand, put it in the market. And then from what's left over, take that, park it in a fund or an asset you can be able to acquire. Bro, you're off to the races. So that's exactly how I would go through the process of, like, I have money because I have my formulas. Now, the formulas can change in life. They can move. But if you think about those 6 buckets I described, that's the key mechanism. And as the requirement for income gets smaller in comparison to the capital that's coming in, you just change it. You move it around. Like Rick Warren talks about, like 90% of his income he gives away, because he only needs to live on 1%. That's the real mechanism. But you have to have a process, a philosophy to make everything much easier. So if you're watching this and you want to connect with me and you want to have further conversations, you can reach out to me. And my main social media platforms are Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. At Sylvania Harrod is where you can find me. You can comment on this video if you're watching it on YouTube. And once I see it, I'm willing to respond. I take any and all messages. I look at it, even trolls. My troll game's on 1,000, so don't try it. But I'm here to serve those who really have questions. I'm here to help you. And that's the reason why I'm your favorite silverback. So stay hungry, stay humble, and stay grateful. Cheers, everybody.